What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kuya. Nerds rule the world here, as you see on the screen, with a bunch of amazing, talented folks. We're going to be talking about ODB, Oddities, Discord, and B-Sides, Lyrical Ruckus in the City. And joining me to talk all things ODB, or of course, YDB, the young dirty bastard. YDB, you see him on the screen. He's got the book in the hand. And of course, Miss Nicole Beckett and Messiah Jacobs with 4 screens. Thank you all for your time. It is a pleasure to see you all again, and Messiah for the first time. An honor to talk to you guys. This is really cool, really fun for me as a Wu-Tang Clan fan, ODB fan, to just see how, despite him not being here, he's still here with us in the presence with the great documentary that you just recently had on Hulu, and now with this comic graphic novel. It's outstanding. I love it. So let's kick us off with how this whole germ of an idea started, if you don't mind.
Messiah, myself, and my son Jackson Beckett Williams actually are the creators of this book, along with Iceline Jones, the administrator of the state of Old Dirty Bastard, and of course YDB has been integral to the process as well. So that's how that all worked out. We actually started creating this book in COVID 2020. We didn't have a lot to do. We were looking for something, inspiring to keep us busy. And, my son in particular is a huge comic book fan, DC, Marvel, like all over the house. So we started, getting stuff together, reaching out to artists, and putting these stories together based on this idea that ODB would be the narrator of these 5 stories in a discombobulated New York City in the 5 boroughs. So that's how it all started.
Love it. Okay, so the germ of an idea formed.
Right.
YDB, let me bring you in. When you heard about this, your father being kind of this vessel for all of this story to happen, what did you think of the idea?
Oh, the idea is remarkable. I think in the comic world, they're missing out on the hip hop. That's a big thing that we got. We superheroes. So my father was one of the biggest superheroes in my life, obviously. And he saved my life, and he's saving many children's lives that probably didn't even know they were saved, but that's what Jesus was. Big baby Jesus was a savior,
Love that. Love that. And I know how integral comics are to Wu-Tang Clan as a deep fan. It inspired so many of their names and all of that. So it works in sync with this. Messiah, you heard from Nicole. What did you think when this idea came across?
Yeah, I think Nicole really touched on it. During the time of COVID, it was one of those times where everybody was in the house and it was just like, hey, what can we do? How can we still stay creative? How can we still bring something beautiful to the world? And we really just dug deep. And, Jackson was always, talking about the comic books and different things. And, for us, if you're a true hip hop fan, comics are a part of your life. You've been reading comics since before it was cool. That was just how we grew up, between the Kung Fu movies, the comic books, the streets of New York. It seemed like a natural combination. Me being from New York, that made a lot of sense, and I could relate, and I could really dig in and find a character in there. And then one of the things that's always been lacking in comics is diversity. We see it, we hear the stories, we internalize them, and we love them, but we don't see ourselves. And so that was something where we were like, no. As YDB said, we are the real superheroes. We do this day in, day out. We've survived, the nitty gritty city. Let's bring it about. And so that's what this was about. And, for us, this was, you guys get to see the comic, but you're talking about 2 years, 3 years of like a labor of love, bringing together Black artists, Black writers, bringing together, Black and brown people who could tell this story authentically and connect hip hop, the city, and the graphic novel space. So this is unprecedented. This is something that people have not seen, and it's we're just proud to be the ones that brought this to life.
I love it. I love it. And I'm so excited. I can't wait for the rest of the world to check this out. So with this all coming together, if I can bring it back to you, Nicole, first, please give your son a shout out, because I just love that this kind of spurned and then everybody else got involved. Just love that. He's like the unsung hero that isn't here with us right now. So just want to give him a
Right.
shout out.
He's at school, keep, holding it down at school. So
I love it. Learning is important.
yeah.
That's amazing. The team that you assembled for this
Mhm.
is just like a laundry list of some of my favorite creators. One of them, a friend of mine, shout out to Troy Jeffrey Allen. I actually
Oh
called him
yeah.
up when I saw that he was involved in this project. And I was like, yo, we got to talk about ODB, this project. So stay tuned, y'all. I'll have an interview with Troy talking about his involvement with ODB. We're
Yeah,
going to
that
get
would
that
be
together.
amazing. Yeah, I would love to get his take on everything because he's been so wonderful on this project. It was an honor to just work with all these amazing artists and writers.
So yeah, could you tell me about, okay, we have this concept, this idea, now getting this team together. We're forming the Avengers of creators. What was it like reaching out to them and building out this universe to then impart for them to write their different parts of this graphic novel?
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm the one who actually headed that up. So with my son Jackson Beckett Williams, who is basically my boss. And we have really great partners with Oni Press. So obviously they're big in the comic space, and we worked with them, specifically Chris Robinson, who's a great writer himself. And basically we said we want to work with talent that knows the culture, knows hip hop, knows what this is all about, and it's not like we have to explain what we want to do. So I started looking through different artists with Chris Robinson, making a short list. He has amazing connections, and when we reached out to all these artists, whether it was Paris Allen, Ron Wimberly, they were so excited to get involved, and what was cool about it is since there were 5 stories, each artist could do a story and use their specific style of illustrating and art and really put their own touch on it. So that was amazing to just bring
Yeah.
all these people together and make this. I think it's a masterpiece.
Yeah. Yeah,
Love that.
I just want to jump in and say, like, one thing Nicole was saying is that we didn't force artists to do a style we wanted. We
Hmm.
said, bring your artistry, bring your style to these stories and tell these stories the way you want. So you'll see in this graphic novel, there's going to be some stuff that's like really dark and sharp, right? And maybe a little bit more adult. And then there's some stuff that's a little bit more whimsical, and then has a different style. And that was one of the things that I really enjoyed. Like when we put up the call, when we put up that bat signal, people jumped on board. This was not a hard to get people, because people want to express themselves and show their artistry, and they love hip hop and they love this space. And I don't think people get highlighted as much as they should, because there's some brilliant artists in here. For us, one of the things we're proud of is, obviously Jackson being a part of this, and that's like some very, very, very young talent. And, but we also discovered artists. There's Chris Gooding, there's people we found on the internet that never get a chance in this space. And we
Yeah.
brought them to the forefront and really made them shine as well, and gave them an
And,
opportunity.
yeah, and just to show you, Chris Gooding is one of the artists we found. He's a young artist out of Texas, actually. He did one of the stories, sort of the Cipher, which you can see behind me, um, with an awesome superhero and villains and all sorts of things going on. And then Messiah is actually wearing one of the t-shirts from another story called Love in the Mix, which is based on the Harlem Renaissance and kind of that style of art, which is it's amazing the way we were able to really bring all this talent together.
I dig that. And I love that because as we see in the book itself, we get the various versions of ODB. So
Hmm.
it just all works beautifully together. YDB, if I can throw it to you, what do you think of that? Because your father had all this various styles and things he would do. What do you think he would have thought of seeing this project come together?
Well, I call it the split personality syndrome, baby. You know what I'm saying? He was a superstar at that, and nobody could take that from him. And I think as being a superhero in real life, real time, and having all of these split personalities, but to control them and knowing when to be the big baby Jesus was unnatural. You know what I'm saying? It was phenomenal. And for the people, they're actually going to get to see the artistic, characteristics that form in front of their eyes as they read. And, it's going to be a beautiful thing for the children, the fathers. I know whoever's a comic fan, they're going to like it. I respect it. I'm humbled for the young creativity of, Jackson. I respect it and I love it. And it's beautiful.
Love that. What was it like as the project was coming together, interacting, feedback between all of you with the teams that you entrusted to bring this vision together? Can we speak on that? Like what was that kind of like feedback like? And this was during COVID times as well, so I'm sure it was like, maybe was there Zoom calls, phone calls? Can we talk about just the process of putting this book together?
Yeah, so the process, once we gathered all the talent, Chris Robinson and I from Oni Press, and my assistant, she's actually the assistant editor, Camila Rosso. We would get on a call. We would read through scripts, do writing, have the writers come back with things, give notes. And then once the scripts were basically set, and that was a really a lovely process because everybody was in a really good space and there was just ideas flowing constantly and like, oh, let's do this. Let's put a Black owned sign here and this and that. And, really like taking from different aspects of the culture or different movies we have all seen in the past or things that have happened in our lives, and put them in the book to make it really authentic. And so once the artists were on board, then we started with very simple storyboards. They got the script and really started doing the storyboards. So we would get these really rough sketches of this is what we're kind of thinking where it would go. And they were super rough. It was amazing to see the beginning stages up till the end. So from the very beginning of these like sketches up to the final sketches that we would approve or say like, oh, you know what? I think that this needs to be clarified a little more, or her dress needs to be tighter, or I don't know, something like
The
that.
process is so much
Little
fun.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
So, and
written
then
a few
and then
comics. I love it. It's just
yeah, so
fun
you
time.
understand. And
Yeah.
you're a big comic fan, I know. And then we got the colorists involved, and it was just a process of reading it over and over and adding these final touches. And it was a really easy process in the way that everybody was just focused on this goal, and it was so positive.
I
Yeah.
love that.
And just to say too, the Lion Forge, Oni Press, but their Lion Forge company, David Stewart, he really helped champion this through. One of the stories, was based on some ideas he put out, but really it was a
Demon
collaboration.
flow. Yeah.
Yeah, Demon Flow. He wanted something, a little bit more adult and more edgy, and we were able to accomplish that. But it was just on the partnership side, Lion Forge, they're a great studio, great house with Oni Press. It made it easy, and they gave us carte blanche to be creative. And then I want to say the estate, phenomenal. The estate of ODB, the feedback, Iceline Jones, giving her notes, the way we talked about the character, how he would look, his representation, and making sure that those details were approved and that those details made sense to what we were building. All of that was, really was seamless. And it was just a great collaboration between really just all parties. So it really was nice. And, really, I want to always thank the family because they're open with, their dad's spirit and their dad's likeness, and allowing people to have creative freedom and bring that creativity to light. So that was a really joy too, as far as collaboration.
That's beautiful
Yeah,
and really special.
that's actually really a good point because the story is not about ODB and things that actually happened to him. He is the conduit or the narrator telling stories about New York and the community. So that is really cool, and I feel just honored that, you know, Aisleen and YDB and the whole family are on board and, you know, letting us be creative as we do.
I love that. This question is for my New York cats, because I know y'all said you know some New York people in here. We read Marvel comics as comics. This is the comics head in me. When we're looking at Marvel stuff, we know it takes place in New York City. Oh, we're looking for this landmark, that landmark. Was there any of those kind of notes of that for you, Messiah? Hey, can we get this area? Can we talk about this? Can we see certain? You know, we know certain looks of certain areas of New York. I'm just curious if that was like any notes that was implied to the creatives. Or they want to just represent, you know, represent a certain block.
Yeah. No. For us, we went all in. We went all in. New York is a character. You know, that was something early on. We were like, and you can see YDB holding it up, but ODB is manipulating the city in that cover. And you see that, and you can almost see that representation of the Statue of Liberty, the Brooklyn Bridge, you know. So for us, New York City was a character. I think actually a little bit more than even what we see in the Marvel universe, because a lot of times you watch those movies and they do their thing, or you read the book and they do their thing, but they don't really go deep into finding those landmarks. Here we went all in. You know, every story, there's 5 stories, there's 5 boroughs. So we represented every borough. And then from there, we went all in, and you'll see it like when Nicole talks about, you know, loving the mix being the Harlem Renaissance. You're going to feel that. You're going to feel Harlem. You're going to feel that mix. It feels like the Harlem Renaissance. You're going to see faces of characters you might recognize. Oh, that's Langston Hughes, right? Oh, that's so-and-so. So we really said from the very beginning, the city is a character, and that's why even the title, Lyrical Ruckus in the City. So we approached it that way. So yeah, we were all about it, you know.
I love it. Just like this cover, I love how it has like the metro subway kind of, you know, inflection, and then into the title pages where the credits are just amazing. So again, this project drops on October 5th, y'all. Hit up your local comic shop, go check it out, go get it. It's amazing. But from what I understand, if I can also, from some other research I've done, Nicole, this is the start of hopefully many. Can we talk a little bit to that? If without giving too much away, I don't want to, you know, mess up any other announcements you have coming. But also, I read that there's possible video games. Like you guys are working with the family to just bring more life and continue ODB's legacy. I just love all of this that I'm seeing.
Yeah, so there are some other things in the works. We feel like this is just the beginning. We've created, you know, this huge universe, and why stop here? So we are looking into partnerships with a video game down the line, possibly having more books come out, and of course animation, because, you know, that's just taking this into a world like that would just be incredible, and I think it's got the legs to stand on.
Yeah, and it was built that way. So like, for example, you know, we are in talks, and you know, we'll give you a little bit more, but you know, it was like we are in talks to have video games created with ODB. That's always going to be our pursuit. Like, how do we build and innovate on that IP? One of the fantastic things about this graphic novel is it's 5 worlds, and these 5 worlds can actually be expanded upon. So like when you're looking at like Sword of the Cipher, that's a whole world within itself that we can explore and dive deep into. And we've already had discussions on animation, you know, going into that world, then digging into the next world. You know, we feel strong that Sword of the Cipher is probably the next property to come out of this world. But it's really, for us, it's like, this is an introduction of 5 worlds that now can be added on to, and now we could show a universe of like, okay, what's in this space, what's in that space, and go into animation and go into this. And we have some great partners, and that's why it was important for us when we had the idea, team up with OniPress, team up with Lionforge. They have the pedigree to move us in those directions, and then other partnerships we've been creating in gaming. So it's exciting. We got a lot coming.
Definitely love it. YDB, man, can I get a final word from you, my friend, with just the ODB multiverse that we're getting in various genres, which I'm so excited about?
Yeah, man. The final word of the day is don't make things too political and keep everything humble and respectful and respect your team and love your family and keep the legacy going for all the children in the universe and the multiverses.
I love it. Well, thank you all, Nicole Beckett, YDB, Messiah Jacobs. I'm so excited for this project and also down the line as this comes. Shout out to the ODB estate. Please, YDB, please send my love to Iceline. Jackson as well, to you, Nicole, for just all of this creativity. It's inspiring. It's amazing. And 4Screens, y'all, you, Messiah and Nicole. I love how you've infused what you do with the project as you do. There's a lot of heart and passion in it. And respect for culture and everything there. Please come back through. I want to promote what you guys have down the line. And again, everybody, Oddities, Discord, and B-Sides, Lyrical Ruckus in the City, ODB, arrives in at your LCS, your local comic shop, on November 5th from Lion Forge, Oni Press. Again, shout out to Nicole Beckett, Messiah Jacobs, YDB. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. All right, y'all, there's a... And we'll get into how this whole thing came together. I'm excited. All right,
Me
let's
too.
go. All right, let me kind of send help me with my edit. Here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.